We are here at SI Swim. We are at the island.
Yeah.
I'm here with Roshumba.
Yeah.
It is time to have this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Isn't this amazing? Live from Swimsuit Island. Leyna Bloom and I, we're going to have a lovely time right now.
Let's do this. Okay, so how does it feel to be here, to see everyone coming to celebrate you? You looked amazing on the cover.
Aw.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And congratulations to you as well. You look amazing on the
Thank
cover
you.
as well. For me, it's kind of surreal. I've been saying I feel like a legend and a rookie at the same time because it's been over a decade since I've been a part of the Sports Illustrated festivities, shall I
Right.
say. I'm always, in the sisterhood no matter what.
Yes.
But this is kind of surreal because the last decade of Sports Illustrated, the doors have flown open,
Yes.
the doors of inclusivity, the doors of representation, and it's so nice and so sweet to be here at this time.
I mean, 10 years ago, things were very different.
Yeah.
To see, like you said, to see it fly open and see all of us come through so elegantly, all different sizes, shapes, ages, people that have amputees, body like positivity, able-bodied humans, like all different walks of life. And you've seen it
Yes.
evolve.
Uh-huh.
You have literally like year after year, and now we're here to just celebrate you also.
Right.
And I've been wanting to celebrate you. I've been telling SI like we got to get Roshumba. So
thank you.
it's so happy to see you like work the room and
Yeah.
come and look after look and all your social media. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Speaking of looks,
Yeah.
you are like a fashionista. You've literally walked and worked with every single high-end designer. What is like your fashion inspiration?
Wow. My fashion inspiration is probably the fashion greats.
Yes.
Because I actually worked with the namesakes of the houses.
Drop the names right now. Drop the names. Let them know.
I've worked with Yves Saint Laurent. I
Yeah.
don't, of course they've since passed, but I've actually worked with the masters. Yves Saint Laurent, Hubert de Givenchy, Gianni Versace, Calvin Klein. I've actually worked with the
Yes.
designers, Geoffrey Bean. So, I was in their cabines, I was their fit models, I walked in their shows. And
Yes.
so for me, when I look at fashion today, first of all, I'm grateful that it has evolved and so many people love it.
Yes.
And so many people crave and desire to be a part of it. And I love how everything has expanded and, the brands have, taken on a life of their own, but you can never forget the history and where this all came
Exactly.
from. And I say my generation is the last generation of, I guess, women and men who actually work with the founders of the houses.
Right.
So, when Yves would come back from a trip in Africa and he saw, beautiful fabrics on the Maasai tribe, and then he would incorporate that
Say
into
that.
a collection. We would be the girls that he would use as his muses. And, I was a fit model actually for Iman when I first
Oh,
started.
wow.
That was my first year. And that was 1987. So, yeah.
How would you describe, okay, so you just got done talking about the history, but for Roshumba, what is your personal style?
My personal style, basically, it evolves. The most important thing for me is elegance.
Yes.
I think can sometimes be a lost art. I believe that the art of femininity, the foundation of it is
Wow.
elegance. And my grandmother was a very elegant woman. My mother was a very elegant woman. And I just, I carry that legacy with me. So no matter, what era, the 90s, the 2000s, the 20s, the 30s, year 3000, I believe that fashion will fade, but elegance will endure.
And it's not even just like what you physically put on,
Right.
it's what's inside your body that matches it
Yes.
and finds that balance.
Yes.
And like, once you come to that moment, you know that you arrived every second.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're in your sweats or if you're just in a full gown. Simplicity is powerful. And I love when women know how to find that right perfume that goes with their pheromones,
Exactly.
the right jewelries that make their eyes glitter. So, and we're seeing a lot of those women like this weekend for the launch.
Yes.
And I love how everyone's putting their looks together.
Yes.
And like, this is a moment to step out. Like, forget the sun, forget the humidity, get your looks in.
That's true.
Take your photos.
It's interesting you say that. Thank goodness for MJ and Yutsai and the Sports Illustrated team for recognizing that beauty, elegance, and sexy
Yeah.
does not have an age limit.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, we're not past our prime. And to see the women who are in their 70s and 80s still being celebrated in this magazine is massive.
Right.
And it means so much, not only for the women who are experiencing it, but for their daughters, granddaughters,
Yes.
sons and grandsons who are like looking up to them and thinking, oh yes, my grandmother is a beautiful, elegant woman. She's classy and she's in Sports Illustrated, and that's acceptable.
Yes.
So it's wonderful. I'm head over heels excited for this time.
It's all about the legacy that you come from and that you're walking into and that you're putting forth to the next generation. And that bloodline of SI is so powerful. Speaking of like the covers, what did you think about the covers this year? Because we are both on the covers this year.
We're both on covers this year.
When I first saw you walk into the Icon shoot and we were at the kitchen and I saw you walk in, I like screamed and everyone was looking at me like I was crazy. And I was like, she's here! We had a little moment. So what do you think about that? Take us back to that day. What were you feeling?
Well, first of all, that day I was grateful that I was there because I was preparing for the Oscars and got the call the night before.
I remember you telling me.
And I literally had to, my bosses, I thank them, you know, to heaven and beyond for allowing me to leave and actually come and do the shoot, which ended up on the cover. Thank you. But I was in such a different headspace where I was prepping for something else, and then this beautiful, wonderful, magical experience came out of nowhere. And I know Yutsai because we did the Oscars together in the past, so he knows it was my busy season. And then I just had a split second to make a decision. And I was like, I'm going.
Yes.
You know, I've waited for this pretty much all of my young adult life. And now in my grown-up life, it's happening, and I'm going to be there.
And you get to share it with other people also.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. When the call came, I will say, I wasn't necessarily thinking about the impact that it would have on, my fellow SI sisters on the sisterhood.
Yeah.
I really was just thinking back in 1989, I wasn't like, oh, I should be on the cover or whatever. But I always, there's always that like secret hope that maybe one day it could happen for you. And that little girl back in 1989 with the little short hair and the dark skin, and
beautiful.
I was skinnier then. I got some curves now.
You look amazing.
But it just, I remember, I will never forget. And you would go to the launch parties, and Christy had her cover, and Elle McPherson had her cover.
Say those names.
It was great because I was in there with them. I was basically the first African-American franchise Sports Illustrated model. I mean, then others came and they would get their covers, you got your cover and stuff like that, but when it came to their first step into inclusivity, SI chose me.
Yes, they did.
So that was amazing. So when I was coming to shoot, I was just thinking, I'm just so grateful that they didn't forget me.
Yeah.
And then when I arrived and we actually shot, and I was just grateful to have it done. And then, you file it away. And then I found out I was going to be in it. And I was like, okay, good. I'm happy. I'm grateful.
And, I mean, I was taking BTS of you shooting. And I sent you those videos. You literally, the essence and the posing and the small gestures and like the music and like you and the harmony of it, we don't see that a lot in fashion. We don't see that a lot, like that era of a woman. Like you said, it's just like it can never be duplicated. It's that it's like truly powerful. I was completely captivated by it. You looked amazing.
Thank you.
And are you ever going to be teaching classes to the next generations? Because like we need to learn from you.
I know.
I'm learning for you. I've learned for you.
That's so flattering. It's interesting. I just, I have my own style and my own way, and I just kind of tap into, my own essence, and I just want that to exude and come through. And
it's goddess energy all day.
Yeah.
Truly goddess energy all day. I love the fact that we're doing this interview together because when I got my cover, I had an interview with you.
Yes.
And it
for
was
ABC.
Yes. And it was so amazing. And it's crazy how it's full circle in this morning. And that was just 4 years ago.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Amazing.
What do you think about when you think of the future of SI now that after the 60th anniversary has we're here in the moment, in the eye of it? What do you see in the future? Because it's like a new chapter
Right.
we're heading to 10 more years, like into the 70th anniversary. So in the next 10 years,
True.
what do you feel like is going to happen next?
Well,
Or what do you want to see?
In the next 10 years, I just really hope that we continue to double down on what we've accomplished as far as the inclusivity and the diversity. And then even, you know, there are some things that we kind of missed along the way. Open the door and bring that in to the fold.
Speaking of bringing that in,
Yeah.
in the next 10 years, I want you to have your solo cover.
I'm grateful for whatever comes. If that happens,
MJ,
I'll just be grateful.
SI Crew,
Yeah.
this is your next cover model. Seriously, we need to get her like 4 more.
Oh.
Literally.
We'll see what happens. I'll leave it in the hands of the universe, MJ and Yutsai. And
I mean,
the
I
Sports
just honestly, you deserve to have your solo moment. When you say you are the first franchise woman of color, black woman, brown skin, you represent like a whole continent. Like, this is the blueprint. This is what it started from, and it goes out into the world, and it's coming back to the source. So I just think that it's truly amazing. And I remember I sent a video to you and Tyra of both of y'all walking down the runway together. And like, for me growing up as a young brown-skinned child in society, seeing that depiction of goddesses on the runway, and also in Sports Illustrated, and also in beauty campaigns, also affiliated with fashion, and also have a brain that goes with it. That is a powerful combination, and I'm just so happy that I was able to see that masterpiece.
Oh, wonderful. Well, for me, I feel my legacy is trailblazing and nurturing, and just being there for the next generation to look up to, and, you know, kind of know that you have a history, you have shoulders that you're standing on, and you have a foundation, because oftentimes if a building is built without a foundation, it'll come tumbling down. But if you know but if you know your foundation is solid, you can just keep soaring from there. And, you know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have that love and that desire to help others rise as well. So trailblazing, that's what I want on my headstone.
Speaking of trailblazing, as a model, you are obviously a supermodel, but you also are a journalist. And I want to ask you the same question I asked Gail King, because she is also a journalist. And it's powerful to see 2 beautiful women that have literally exude so much power. Be in front of like red carpets and meet so many amazing people and talk to so many people. And I know you've been at the Golden Globes at so many huge moments dressed in your beautiful gown. What are some of your interview tips? Because I want to get into journalism. I would love if you can mentor me, but what tips would you give to any up and coming person, woman, man that wants to get into journalism? Well,
the thing with journalism that I found for me is clearly know your lane and expand from there. Because I find that if you're a journalist and you're a jack of all trades and you're all over the place, you get a little diluted. But if you know what your home base is, my home base is fashion and style. That's where I came from. Those are my roots. I know that. But I can also interview and talk to people about lifestyle and children and women's issues, and so just kind of like know your lane and grow from there and do your homework. My first broadcast, I guess, coach, Larry Conroy, he's since passed, he said research, research, research. He's like, know it like the back of your hand when you step in front of the camera. He's like, because you never know when a live moment will happen where you are called upon to reach into your treasure trove and pull out your knowledge and share it with your audience. Because there's so much media, social media, TVs, channels, and stuff like that. But people are smart and they know truth. So just be true to your niche, and then expand from there. And that's what I do when I'm hosting or commenting Oscars and things like that. Is I always try to include a nugget of my truth, because no one has my history, no one has my legacy, no one has my experiences. No one can say that I stood in front of Monsieur Saint Laurent and he built a beautiful Picasso gown on me. and they can never, you can never duplicate that. So I try to share my wisdom, little nuggets of it. I don't try to get too deep. It is fashion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, fashion is art, fashion is life. Fashion can determine time, place, circumstances, era. I mean, you look at like our era booths set up there. You look at the fashions. This is neon. That's, disco ball. This is denim. And that's so important because it's defining, an era, defining a people, defining a time and a space. So.
And also finding what your palette is. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned all these different textures and textiles and stuff like that. And if you can find the essence of all that and how it works with you, that's also truly beautiful. Yeah. And I love the fact that every time you're on the runway or every time you're on the red carpet, you look absolutely incredible.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I can look forward to
see.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So we're going to enjoy the rest of this weekend. Tonight we're going to party the night away. It's been such an amazing opportunity to sit down and talk to you, to really soak up all the knowledge and the power that you're literally like setting free. I just set free. All right, guys, it is SI Swimsuit. We are at the island. I'm here with Roshumba and we are signing out.